Okay, having a look at congruent triangles. Now, when we talk about congruent triangles, they need to be the same shape and the same size. So we're looking for angles and we're looking for corresponding sides. And there's 4 different ways that we can decide if 2 triangles are congruent if we don't have all of the information about the triangle. We always want 3 pieces of information. So if we know all the sides are the same length, we know they have to be congruent. So that's what the side. So if they have corresponding sides in each shape, and we've got 3 that correspond and they're the same, that means that we have a congruent triangle. We can also have side angle sides. So if you've got an angle with the 2 sides adjoining it, and they match on both triangles, then we can say it's congruent. Or we could have 2 angles and a side. Obviously, if we know 2 angles, we would also know the third, or we could work out the third. But just knowing the angles isn't enough. We need a side to tell us that it's the same size triangle as well, not just the same angles. And then we've got RHS. So that's where we have a right angle. We know the hypotenuse is matching on both, and we have a matching side. So I'm going to go through these 4 and look at what we can see in each one and decide which coded reason or which congruency test we can use for that. We can also write congruency statements, so we're going to do that as well. So we have triangle ABC here and DEF. Now we can see that we have a corresponding angle there. So we can, when we're setting out our work, we would be able to say that angle A is equal to angle E. So that's one thing we already know. We can also see that side AB is equal to, so we've got the 12 there, it's equal to side EF. Then we can see that side AC is equal to side DE. So we now have one matching angle and we've got the 2 sides that adjoin that, so the angles between the 2 sides. So we have the 3 pieces of information. That means that it is going to be side angle side. And then we can write our congruency statement. So we want to say triangle ABC, and then we can write our 3 lines to say that it's congruent to, and we need to be careful with our order. So we've got A, B, C, and I'm realizing I just drew, sorry, they were the sides. There we go. Our angle A is equal to angle E. So we've got triangle E, and then our we've got the 12 there. So if we're working our way around the triangle, then the next one would be F and then D for our order that we're going in there. So then that's our congruency statement. Our congruency test is the SAS, or the 3-letter coded reason, and these are our reasons why our working out. Then we look at the next one. So here we've obviously got a right angle. So we can say that we have our angle H is equal to angle L, and it is a right angle. We can also see that we have the hypotenuse. So we've got GI is equal to JK. And then we've got that GH is equal to KL. So in this case, our angle is not between the 2 sides, and that's why it's not SAS. And you do have to be careful with those ones, because sometimes you might be given instead of the right angle, a different angle, then it's not going to be the RHS. So in this case, it is RHS. It's not SAS because the angle that we know is not between these 2. We would need this one up here, which we don't know. So we've got RHS, and then we're going to write our congruency statement. So we've got triangle, and we're going to go GHI is congruent to, and then it'll be KLJ that matches the order around that triangle. Okay, the next 2 triangles we've got 2 angles, which means if we needed to, we could find the third one. So if I've got 100 and I've got 40, I know that's 140. I know I need to add 180, so I know this third one would be a 40-degree angle. We don't need it in this case, but we might in some cases. So we now have 2 angles and we have a matching side. So we're going to write that our angle, so our angle original was N, was equal to R. We had our angle O, sorry, got the wrong one around there. That one should have been Q. N and Q were the matching ones, and then O and R. And then we had that side NO, or ON, is equal to PQ. So we've got 2 angles and a side, so it's going to be the AAS is our congruency test or our coded reason. And then we can say that triangle MNO is congruent to triangle, and we're just going to make sure we get our order right. So if I go MNO, I want to start at the 40, but I don't want to use the one that's got the 3 centimeters on it. So that would be RQP. Okay, our last one on the page, we've got 3 sets of sides there. So if they all match, then it's going to be side, side, side as our congruency test or coded reason that we're using. So here we've got a 3 and a 3, a 4 and a 4, and a 3.5 and a 3.5. So we've got side ST is equal to WV or VW. Then we've got that TU is equal to, so the 4 is VX. And then we've got that side SU is equal to WX. So we've got that. We write our SSS, and then we can write our congruency statement. So if I go STU, I'm wanting to go the 3, 4, 3.5. So 3, 4, 3.5. So I want to go WVX. So STU, WVX, just to show how I went round that triangle.